This exercise is called single knee to chest, or SKTC. And you'll have the patient lie down on their back and just bring one knee up to their chest and hold it for 30 seconds 3 times. This exercise is called double knee to chest, or DKTC. And you'll have the patient lay down on their back and just bring both their knees up to their chest to get a stretch in the low back and hold it for 30 seconds 3 times.
This exercise is called seated lumbar flexion. So you're just gonna have the patient sit in a chair or on the edge of their table and just have them lean forward until they feel a good stretch on their back. Hold that 30 seconds, do that 3 times. This exercise is a plank. You're just gonna have them either come onto a black table or the table that they were on, get on their elbows and go up into the plank position, making sure that their hips are flat and spine is all aligned. And they'll hold that for 3 times, 15 seconds to 60 seconds. This exercise is a side plank. You'll just have the patient go onto either side. They'll do both sides, but you'll have them have either their legs one foot in front of the other or stacked. I'm gonna do one foot in front of the other, and you're gonna have them lift up with their hips, and they'll hold that for 3 times, 15 seconds to 60 seconds.
This exercise is called bird dogs. And what you'll have the patient do is come up onto all fours, having their hands under their shoulders and their knees under their hips. And they'll just lift opposite arm and leg, trying to keep their core tight and their back nice and straight. You don't want them to arch either direction, just nice and straight. And they'll hold it for 10 seconds. And then they'll switch to the other side, same thing, and do 10 sets. All right, this exercise is the thoracic or lumbar extension. So you'll have the patient get one of the yoga balls and they can kind of prop their feet up against the table so they don't roll away. And for the lumbar one, they'll just bring the ball onto their stomach, and just kind of go down and come up and hold it for 10 seconds, 10 times. And for the thoracic, you'll have the ball a little bit higher on the chest and they'll just kind of collapse and then come up, hold it for 10 seconds, 10 times. All right, this is the Isolexer machine, and it's another way you can do the thoracic or lumbar extension. You'll just have the patient come down like this. For the lumbar one, you'll just kind of line up with the hips or low stomach. They'll hook their legs under these and they'll just do the same thing, coming up, holding for 10 seconds and then going back down. And for the thoracic one, they'll just shift down a little bit lower and they'll just go down and then come back up, hold it for 10 seconds, 10 times. All right, this exercise is called chops, and you'll have the patient grab a band with both their hands that has a high anchor like this, and they're just gonna come down across at an angle, 3 sets of 15. And with this one, you don't want the patient to do a huge rotation in their torso. It's just a slight one. We mostly want them just to engage their core as they're pulling down and across. Right, this exercise is called lifts, and you'll have them grab a band with a low anchor like this in both their hands, and they'll just come up and away, again, tightening their core as they bring it up, and there can be a slight rotation, but you don't want them to rotate a ton. And they'll just do 3 sets of 15.
This exercise is called pelvic tilts and pelvic clocks. So you're gonna have the patient come and lay on their back with their knees bent up, and you're gonna have them tilt the pelvis forward and back. And they'll do 3 sets of 15 of this, really engaging their core and deep abs. The clocks, you're gonna have them rotate in a clockwise direction and then go counterclockwise as well for 3 sets of 15 circles. During these clocks, it's really a small movement and you're using your abs and glute muscles to do slight rotations, and it's not a large movement. We're gonna go through a series of bridges, and just progressively they get harder as we go. So the first is a bridge, just a regular bridge. You want them to be laying on their back with their hips and feet hip length apart. They're just gonna lift up, really engaging their glutes. Hold that for 10 seconds and go back down. You can also do it with a band. Slip the band on both of their knees, like a clamshell, with the band just above their knees. Again, laying on their back. This one they're really focusing on keeping their hips out, not letting their knees collapse in. So they want to keep their knees hip width apart and lift up, holding for 10 seconds. Do that 10 times. They will do a bridge with a march. So they'll again come into a regular bridge position and lift up their hips. Do that 10 times, 10 seconds. And then they'll be in a bridge with heel digs. They just lift up and dig their heels in by lifting up their toes. Hold that 10 times, 10 seconds. And the last one is with the ball. So they'll put the ball down. You usually want them to scoot up the table a little bit. And they will lay down with their feet on the bridge, and they will just bridge up onto the ball. Hold that 10 times, 10 seconds.
This exercise is called squatting iso load. And you'll have the patient come over here and hold onto this bar with both their hands, and they'll go down into a squat on both legs. They don't have to go super deep. And then they'll shift their weight onto the affected leg and hold it for 10 seconds, 10 times. This exercise is squatting iso load.
This exercise is called seated lumbar flexion.